Good day, guys. How are you doing today? Today we continue our lecture series from where we stopped. And thank we just resume from the break. And thank you very much for your patience. Today we're going to be looking at some functions. Though we've discussed functions earlier, but let's just take a little bit and look at some different operations we can carry out with those functions. We'll carry out some documentation. We check our videos in the link in the playlist. You will see some of those in the tutorials on functions. So, and now let's continue where we stop. Let's demonstrate on lambda functions. How does lambda function work? You have to create a variable. The variable can just be numbers. It can be a square. Okay, find a square with a number. Now let's give it. So the function name lambda, that's the keyword lambda. Now which number do you want to find the square of? Then let's find the square of what the first variable. Make just s1 and x2. Then full column is a functions. Then we might multiply the x1, for example. So if it is square, that means, for example, like x can be x multiplied by x. Then you have it this way. If you now enter, just say print square with number. Let's just give it. Let's format. Let's format by putting inside this parentheses. We put the f and the square. That is what makes a difference. Format. This approach starts from Python 3.6. So put the square format in. Then we put our value here. Maybe for example, value of 5. Then let's close the. Let's see. We put value of 5. Let's come back here. Let's run it. Or you can just click on this place and run. But I prefer to use this Python. This is tut. There are two. .py. Then we have 25, right? You can also pass in multiple values. Just the values equals lambda x1, x2, x3. So then we can pass then x1. These are inline functions in some other programming language. Lambda inline functions. Also lambda also in C#. So let's just multiply this s1, s2, multiply by what? S3. Then you will now call this. Let's remove this square now and call this same function values here. Let's value what? 2, 3, and 4. Let's see what the value will be. If we run it again, can you see we have 24. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. That's lambda functions. Now let's come in to our function. A function taking in under functions. Now let's try and create a function. Normal function in Python. We give the what? Def means we want to define a function, then give it a name, maybe sample function. We said a function taking in other functions as a parameter. We want to pass in a function. Let's give it a name. Listen, we have it here. A function is this in this form. So we have we are returning a function, right? You can also let's pass in a function that square every numbers, right? For a range of values. For example, return the list. Remember, in our function, you can also put in our former lectures, we have talked about data structures as well. Now let's look at it here. Let's return here. This is let's just list. You can also return list like this, or you can just leave it by default. So if we leave it by default, it automatically dictates that we are returning a list or tuple. You want to change, we make use of what? Of tuple. So now let's try and pass in this function. This function is here. So for I in range, maybe range of 10. Let's square all the numbers from 0 to 10, from the range of 10, all the values there. But now we are returning this list. We are returning a list containing a functions here. How do you want to pass in a function here? This function will be the one to square those numbers. Then we have it here. This, please permit me, this tutorial should be a little bit advanced compared with to what we have been doing before. Then we can pass in the high. That means our function here is going to take in a parameter here. Now, therefore, let's go ahead. Now let's try to print this value out. Let's create a function here. Let's call it x equals what? Sample. And that sample is taking in, let's put a square of a number for the range. It's okay, it's taking in a square. It's taking a square, and that our square is going to take in a parameter of these functions. By default, here we have square is taking only s. Now, if you don't pass in anything here, but it's essential us to pass something inside here, but by default, it should pass it here. Let's just pass it this way, and let's print x. Formats. You can let's just remove the format x. We'll print this way. Can you see? We now have the square of those numbers. Remember, some things. We do not pass in function parameter here. We only pass in the square without the what? Without parentheses. Without the parentheses sign here. This is x. Then 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 2. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And so on. 9 squared is stop at 9. 0 to 9 values. Right? But if you also want it to stop, I think you can just include +1. You should start from 1. You can also make it to start from 1 and end at 10 or 11 plus 1. You can also have +1 there, or just put 11 so that we can have 1 to 10 squared. So if we run it again, so we should have 1, 4, 9, 16, and so on. That is the squared method. So that is a passing function. It's also returning in functions, or a passing function to this. Now, let's try positional argument now. Positional argument, we talked about it by passing some key value to something. So let's try to do something this way. Let's try by creating a function that can just take in. Normally, we can define a function and just put, okay, well, sample2, for example, let's just name it sample2, and just passing maybe x on y. Just the same way we did, and return x plus y. Or you can just print. You can just say we're returning. You can just print x plus y, and that's you can just call this sample2 and just print sample2. Then it's taking into parameters that you can see. Put your cursor here. You can see it's taking x and y. X and y, we need to supply the value of x. You can say, okay, x equals to what? 78. Again, y that's equal to what? 2. 78 times 2. Can just say, okay, print the value for me. And see, it's a none because we don't need to put it inside. It's not returning anything, so we don't need to put it inside anything. We can just remove it this way and just remove the print out of it. It's a void function. It's not returning any value. We are good to go this way. The value is going to be executed here. Now let's print it. We have 80 only. So that's good. Remove the non-error. We have 80 here as well. Then therefore, let's come now. This approach we place something argument. But what if we don't supply y? If we don't place, okay, y is equal to what? 3. Now we don't put that is passing in default argument. For example, I'm still coming to this place. So let me just cover the two together here. Then passing in y. I don't need to pass in value for y. That's x only. I'm only passing x only. So if I pass in x only and run it, it's going to use 3 by default. 3 by default. That is x times 70. X plus 3 plus 78. That is 3 plus 70. That is 81. But if I now want to change the value, I can still change the value by putting, okay, let me put in here 9. If I put it in 9 there, but imagine, positional argument cannot appear after keyword. Yes, you are right. You want to do that, you have to put it 78 here. You just put what? X, you can put y equal to 9. So the error is going to disappear. So we cannot put positional argument before the key value argument. Then we have our, let's run it again. We get it here. 9 plus 78, we get 87. Therefore, let's come back to this keyword argument. Now, sometimes in Kotlin, we have erratic functions, enables you to pass. Sometimes you have ellipses, so you're able to pass in some values, unlimited values, without maybe you don't know the value of the range of elements that you want to take. For example, you want to have a list of item numbers user want to enter. Also, the same way with the what the keyword value as well. You can also have a function that way by declaring another function, by calling it. Let's declare that function and move forward. Def sample 3. Maybe for example, sometimes you have seen something like this. Keyword as a asterisk keyword. So if you have seen something like this in Python, this means you can pass in a positional argument of unlimited size. You can pass positional arguments. The RAM can take it. You can pass positional arguments of any length there by passing. You can just, by the time you want to call it, just okay, be calling. If it is only args that is there alone, and just passing any value, just the way we pass in positional argument here, this positional argument, this keyword argument. So we have, but now we want to pass in this unlimited elements, and we want to pass in this. So you can just have this one alone. If you have this one alone, then you can just have okay, for example, for I in, or maybe for I in args. So we want to print all the arguments there. So we want to print all the arguments there. Print every argument in I. So we can have our Python 3 here, have our sample 3, and we have, can give it now 1, 2, 7, 5, 8, 90. Just the same way, let's run it now. Can you see? We have it there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 90. It's giving to us unlimited. You can as well as many as you want. But if you want the audio thing to appear horizontally, you can just give it what? End equals space. So, and just give it comma in case you want to space and comma. Then we should print again. Oh, sorry, this is not the place. Sorry. It should be in the print here. Just end. So we have it here. Then you can now easily print. But can you see we have this? While the end is printing out the 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10. We can easily print just new line here. So we can have this way. So now therefore, so we have that one. Let's try for the one of keyword argument. That one is keyword argument. You want to have it that way. So we need to what? It's going to take in the multiple names or value of something. Also, for example, you can just print in the names of all these arguments. For example, let's just okay, item keyword args. This is KW keyword args. Then you can have KW args dot items is a dictionary form of dictionary now. Keyword argument. Let's just try to print the value of our items out of it. Let's just try to print first. Let's see what is going to happen by giving the key value pairs of a name is equal to what? Liar, and the other one age. For example, age equal to what? Maybe age is what? 12. And for example, under age, maybe under name is equals to Femi, and the age there equals to maybe 23. Let's try and print this thing out here. So what is a name age? Is there any error here? We have error here. Error here. What is it? We have K, you have key value here, you have K, V here. So we should have our K and V, for example. So let's try set the age. It's complaining about this name here. Okay, name has to be unique. Start maybe, for example, name this. Maybe for example here, just have a maybe your maybe for some of your sex, maybe your female, uh, and your maybe let's just because of time, just try this now. Now, can you see we have it here? End. Can also have end here. Can you see we have name, liar, age, 12. This is taking the key value. This is the key value. This K represents the names, the key here, the value here. This value for value is the what is we place inside the key value pairs away. All right. Please, any question you can please ask me below. Then let's move down now to the last one, which is the closure. We also have closures also in Rust programming. So in Python is quite different. The way it works enables you to tamper. Maybe you want to manipulate you have a nested function inside functions. So the function inside functions, then you're able to return another function on its own after manipulation. For example, this is def sample 4. Now let's name it. Maybe you are taking the name of someone, right? It can be in form of string in case you want to use, you don't want to be dynamic. Just put it that I'm expecting string here. Can decide to remove it so that you not be confused, and we just remove it, just remain thing. So we now have another dev here. Greeting. Greetings. A good greeting to that person. So we have then we now have a return. Just it's only return a message. Return the message. Send the message, or let's just return oh um welcome. Welcome. What is the name of that person? Format, remember name. Hmm? Welcome, so and so. Welcome, so and so. Welcome, so and so. How are you? Go for so. How just up this way. How are you today? Then we have a question this way. Then we cannot have this question to this function. Return this function for me, greeting. I see. Return the greeting function. Then now let's try to call the function here. Now it's okay. Print sample 4. I think sample 2 is still on. Let me create it. Sample 4. Then we have it. Then we can run it here. And it's a function. So return the functions. Something here. There's something wrong. Let return functions. Oh, sorry. You have let's run. You have issue with this passing the function inside the function. Let's just try variable here and call it sample 4. Sample 4. Then if sample 4 is returning a message greeting for us, it's only a string. And you see it's only a string for us. Then we can just pass it to be able to work with that. Let me see. Oh, missing argument. Sorry, the hell say missing argument. What is the name of that person? It should work. Maybe, for example, my name is Layo, for example. Then we should be able to have a result now. Then can you see? It's a greeting at so and so. What is going on? Okay. Now you see, it's a welcome, Layo. How are you doing today? So here we have our result now. can see we omitted the function here. This is a functions. We are returning in form of variable before. That's why we are having that kind of error. Apology for that. Then we now move forward to recap on what we have done before. The lambda functions is an inline functions, enable you to write a single line functions by carrying out some manipulations. We have seen an example here. Taking this is a single variable, taking a single variable, we want to multiply the square of that number. So we have it here as well. Then we have also have, then we comment it, we print it out here. Here also we have an example of under lambda functions, taking in more than one parameters, s1, s2, s3. It's the same thing as you passing something inside the normal functions. This is our s1, s2, s3. The full column here, then you now carry out your manipulations here, the computation here, the right hand side. Then we also have under the functions here. So we have under functions, and that function is taking in functions and it's also returning the list of functions, a list manipulating. So you can receive any functions that accept this parameter, then we pass it in and it works. Then we have the second one as well. We have the second one as well, taking in the sample to taking in positional and default argument, and it's working. Can you see? We also have the keywords argument. Listen. Also remember that the positional argument will always be in first before the keyword argument. Then we also have the closure here. So maybe in the future we'll be looking, because the video will be too long, we'll be looking at what called decorators. Decorators will enable us to carry some manipulations on some of the using existing functions on the new functions. So all the we pass it as one more attribute to the functions. So thank you very much. Please like, share, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.